A historic church in Roxbury is helping to put the neighborhood on the map as a destination for culture. The program is being hosted by the Unitarian Universalist Urban Ministry at the former First Church Meetinghouse in Eliot Square. To tell us about the summer's cultural program and the church's ongoing restoration are two guests from the ministry, a member of the event planning committee, Ashleigh Gordon, and the executive director and senior minister, Margaret Earl. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you for
I
having
want
us.
to start with Margaret because I mean a lot of people in Roxbury know this church and why it's so important. But for those of us who aren't as familiar, talk about the history in the building.
Well, it's a deeply historic building on John Eliot Square. The Puritans gathered at that site in 1631, built a meeting house in 1632, and there was a continuously worshiping congregation at that site from that time till 1976. At that time, that elderly congregation sort of dwindled and merged with the Unitarian Universalist Urban Ministry, so that building became part of our campus and presence in Roxbury. There's no active congregation in the church now. We see that space as a space to be a true meeting house, a place where the community can come together for arts, culture, interfaith dialogue, political debate, and to be together in whatever ways make sense for that beautiful, beautiful building. And it's the 5th meeting house on that spot, and it was built in 1804 and is the largest or the oldest surviving wood frame church in Boston.
Actually, talk about taking a building like this and using it as a cultural destination.
Well, I think certainly with a shortage of certainly funding and also spaces in Boston, having a space that is certainly large and open to dialogue, interfaith dialogue and musical dialogue is fantastic to be able to have in such a location. With our Share Our Summer Space showcase, we wanted to really just open the doors, throw the doors open wide to the artistic community and offer music, offer lectures, offer performances, offer a space where people can come together and share something that they may not have otherwise been able to do.
We're talking with Ashleigh Gordon and Margaret Earl from the Unitarian Universalist Urban Ministry. Margaret, what about this idea of sharing space, which is really the sort of the title for this series of events this summer?
The Unitarian Universalist Urban Ministry has a number of core programs that include a domestic violence shelter, an affordable housing program, after-school programming for young people, and we do an array of educational forums and social justice gatherings. At the heart of our work is really a belief that we need to work together across differences of race, class, and faith to move our agenda for change forward. So in everything that we do, we really try to integrate groups of people and create opportunities for relationships to be built. Relationships are a catalyst for change. Everything comes back to relationships. So having a space that is really about that agenda, and I think there's almost no better way to bring people together than the arts and culture, music, other than food. But those are ways that people really come together. So this summer showcase accomplishes that.
Actually, talk about some of the programming because it's really mixed, but it's also very relevant to the neighborhood.
So we did, which is the first time in our history, a open call to artists earlier this year, and we had a variety of submissions, ranging from lectures, ranging from educational programmings, concerts involving Latin American folk music, involving jazz, involving youth programs in and around Boston, as far out as Lexington, one of our artists as well. And it was an opportunity to really create a diverse platform for artistic expression and conversations as well through activism.
And these are free performances for
Totally
people?
free performances.
I know because it's most time, you have something coming up this weekend, right?
Yes. So Roxbury Rocks Festival just down the street at RCC will happen from 12 to 5, and at our space just up the hill will be Sing Positive, which is an intergenerational community choir in JP, and it will be literally just anyone who wants to come and sing and congregate and share will be able to do so in our space.
And I know among the other events you have a concert by some young musicians.
Yes, from the Boston Youth Symphony Orchestra's, the Intensive Community Program. They are a program actually dear to my heart. I teach there as well. And we have 8 students that will be showcasing doing chamber music. And the students have had to research the composers that they'll be presenting on. So it's a little bit of a homework assignment for them as well.
Right.
Being able to offer
and
their
one
music.
of the familiar names is the Makonda Project. They're
Yes,
doing another performance
they have
too?
3. So they had one actually last Saturday, another in August. And they are fantastic and great, and certainly up for collaborating with local craftsmen, and food generation comes and provides food as well. So it's a great opportunity.
Wonderful big band sound. Mary Margaret, as you mentioned earlier, this is the oldest surviving wood frame church in Boston. This old church, you got to fix it up again, I guess, right?
Yes, we're excited. We have begun the exterior renovations to the church. As it's a structure that's very beloved in the neighborhood. It's very identifiable. Everyone can see it from many angles. Its steeple is visible from, if you're walking along Ruggles Street and you look up, you see the steeple of First Church Roxbury. And it had really begun to suffer from some deferred maintenance, and the paint was peeling, and it wasn't as beautiful as it ought to be. And so we made a decision to really just move forward to get the exterior work done. The whole campaign is a $2.2 million campaign to do the exterior and interior work. The most critical was the exterior first. So we have the carpentry happening this summer. The paint has been fully stripped from much of the building, and it will be stripped from the whole of First Church Roxbury and then painted, and it will look beautiful come late next fall.
Finally, actually, I want to come back to at least the concept of a cultural district in Roxbury. I don't want to pin you down too much, but I guess how you feel about what it's like to have something like this at this location.
I think for me, and certainly with being a performer as well, having access to venue, having access to space is hugely important. And also more importantly than that is having access to a space that is open enough for dialogue, and especially with today's current climate, a political dialogue. And I think the First Church is very open to that. So whether it's spoken word art, or it's a lecture, it's a political lecture, it's music, having something in a community for the community, I think is hugely needed to advance dialogue.
Right, I'm going to give one more reminder about at least tomorrow's performance, the time and place.
Yes, so at First Church, it'll be at 5 o'clock, and it's with Sing Positive. It's in Come As You Are, and we'll sing together at 5 o'clock at First Church.
Thank you both very much, Ashleigh Gordon and Mary Margaret Earl.